Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. I've finished off my face shave. I've spent a bit of time downloading it and editing it, and I've actually started uploading it for Oleo Soapworks Smoke on the Water in-depth review, I suppose. And I have to say, the post-shave feeling with the splash and the balm, it wouldn't be far off the best I've ever had. It is real, and obviously the soap as well. My skin feels incredibly moisturised. It's not very red. In terms of irritation, the irritation management on the shave is exceptional with the protection of the soap. Now I did use a mild razor, which was a supply razor version 1 on the medium plate, and it was exceptional. It really was. The soap was great. I had no reaction to the soap, no reaction to the splash or the balm or the EDT. The scent still does nothing for me. It's not a pleasant scent for me, and I feel terrible saying it because I like Vera. I like the way she works. I think she's definitely going in the right direction to make Oleo Soapworks a great company and a great small business, and if not bigger, depending on how well it goes. But the products are really, really good. Now, would I recommend that anyone buy that set? Based on scent, no. Based on everything else, apart from the squint label on the lid, definitely. I would say jump in with both feet, because you'll get, at the end of it, if you don't get a reaction to the soap, as very few have. I didn't, which is a good thing for most, because I react to most things that most people react to, so I had an exceptional shave. So that's just my little backup touch-up on Oleo Soapworks Smoke on the Water canard formula with the duck fat, and it was great. The splash, it was really, really good. It's good, if not better, than fine accoutrements. Well, it was better than fine accoutrements. It had the menthol kick, but you got some lovely moisturisation as well. I don't know whether it's, I think it's polysorbate that's in here, is it? Yeah, polysorbate. I don't know what that is. I can only imagine that is the part of it that maybe just adds a bit of moisture. I don't know, I might be bullshitting there. I don't really know what it is, but there's a moisturisation with that splash that you don't get with fine accoutrements, but you get the same menthol kick, and it's got good strength of scent as well. So let's get stuck in. This is a head shave. It's going to be showcasing the artisan from Western Australia who is at this stage looking to actually fast track into production and actually get his stuff up and running. So this is another tester of it. I'm going to try a bowl lather with it at some point as well, and I'm going to use it a little bit, not exclusively, but I'm going to use it quite a bit over the next couple of weeks and just give him an idea and give him more in depth. I'm going to send a tub of this stuff over to Spencer as well and give him a bash at it as well and see what he thinks, and get some feedback from Spencer. Hopefully does a few videos on it and using it. I think he'll be pleasantly surprised as I was. It really is a good soap base. It's got some expensive product in there in terms of actual what's in it. There's a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of good skin foods, a lot of good stuff that makes a good soap. And a couple of guys are a bit worried about the price point of it. I've got no idea what price point's going to be. I believe this is about 4 ounces in here. I would say this is a 4 ounce tub. It feels like 4 ounces. So I'm using the turn and shave again, which the knot and the handle is phenomenal. Just the colour's horrible. Don't like orange. Now this one that I'm using just now had the grapefruit essential oil in it, so I can still smell it very, very lightly, and it's really nice. I love grapefruit. It's one of my favourite fruits. I absolutely love it. I used to eat it when I was a kid. Mum used to slice it in half, segment it, each segment with a sharp knife, then cut round a hole inside so it made like the outer or the skin of the grapefruit like a little bowl, and then she used to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon sugar on the top just for a bit of sweetness, because it's a very, very sour fruit, and I used to love it. I don't have it anymore because of the sugar factor. I have to have sugar with it, so I don't eat it anymore. Sometimes I'll have grapefruit juice just freshly squeezed, and I'll just have a bit of that just for a bit of zing, quick whack of zing. I'm going to really load this heavy and see what I can build on my head. So this is going to be a long video, but I am going for a bit of in-depth again. I did that with Oleo Soapworks recently, but I want to give some good feedback on this soap so that when it does come to market, which looks very likely, so that when it does come to market, it's, in my opinion, which doesn't cover everywhere in the world obviously, but I have a good grasp on what feels like a good soap now, and if it's excellent in my opinion, up there with the good soaps, then I'd be happy to pay a good price for it. I don't mean I want it to be expensive, but I'd be happy to pay the money for it. Australian Private Reserve is one of them. Just to give you guys a bit of an insight on it. The reason why I didn't have Australian Private Reserve in my den, it's not because I'm Scottish. It's just that I thought it was really expensive. Having used it, you get what you pay for. You really do. You get what you pay for with these products, especially soaps and splashes and things like that. And the more you realise that if you use expensive oils, you use more premium product, you use better tallow, I don't know whether there's a thing, but if you're using better product and premium things, the product at the end of it is generally a better product, and you pay more for it. It's like everything. You know, you want good fuel in your car, you pay more for it, albeit I still think it's just shit fuel, but if it is good fuel, you pay more for it. Right, let's wait ahead. So, Australian Private Reserve, as much as they are expensive, they're even expensive over here, so don't think that you're paying a lot of money in the States, it's expensive in Australia. But it's a great product. In fact, in my opinion, it's the best Australian product, hands down, that I've tried. Now this stuff, if it continues to impress like it has with my face shave, and continues to make an amazing lather, will definitely be up there as one of my favourites, because it's so slick. Just trying to angle my mirror over there, no, it's the wrong way. I think that's it now, I think I've nailed it, yeah, spot on. Just couldn't see the back of my head very well there, but I can now. So what I'm looking for here, when I used this on my head, my face shave a few days ago, 2 days ago I think it was, I thought I had a bit of a reaction, just a slight tingle. So I'm just looking to see whether I can feel that on my head. I will be using it again on face shave. Now I've already spoken with the artisan, and the only people that have used this soap, this actual soap base, is himself. He's used it on his wife's legs and myself. So that's it. So the good thing with using it on me is if I get a reaction, then it's probably it's got something in it that's not great. It's maybe a little bit acidic. So as he was saying, you might have to maybe just reduce the amount of lye that's in it. I don't know what lye is, but it's obviously something acidic. This lather really is exceptional. It's really easy to lather. It loves water. You can see it building there. It's no problem. This brush helps. The brush is really, really good for building lather. But it's so thick and creamy, it really is, guys. I cannot stress it enough how creamy this lather is. It's really up there with Holy Cow in that feeling category. I mean, look at that. I hope you can see that shine on there. I mean, I can see it glistening in my mirror. That's some thick ass cream. Beautiful. I'm really looking forward to this. Brush is absolutely cake. Now I did load that quite heavy. I am going to town on this soap as well, because I want to see what the longevity of this soap is as well. Because as much as it's got a lot of premium ingredients in there, it's quite a firm soap, so I'm thinking it's going to last quite a long time as well, which is great. If you're going to spend big money on stuff, you want it to last as well. Now, I'm going to give this soap a real good test today. I'm going to use two razors which I love for head shaves, and I'm going to pair them, sort of pit them against each other today. So it's the Above the Tie R1, sorry that might be too bloody close. The Above the Tie R1, that's probably a bit better there. And the Razor Rock Wunderbar Torque Slant, which is a beautiful razor, one of my favourites, it really is. I love it for a face shave as well if I've got quite a few days growth on there. So I'll start with the Wunderbar because I haven't used it for a while. So I'll do Wunderbar on my right and I'll use the Above the Tie on my left. So I've got brand new Pulse Silver Iridiums in both razors. Oh, that's smooth. I haven't used the Wunderbar in ages. Now protection on there feels good. I'm just going to dip my fingers and just, I mean that's super slick. Yeah, it's really good. I did say that on my face shave that it leaves an excellent barrier of residual slickness post lather, I suppose. Once you actually take that top layer of lather off and all that's left is sort of the skin, you're left with a beautiful amount of slickness and protection. This Pulse Silver is lovely. I haven't had the best of experiences with Pulse Silver blades, but I just pulled them out. I had 2 left and I thought, stuff, I'll chuck them in these razors. I've not had a terrible experience with them, but I haven't had an experience where I can honestly say it's been a brilliant shave. But this is really smooth today. So the thing with the Wunderbar is, if you're looking for a really good quality slant, now these, in my opinion, are high-end razors for how they're built. They're maybe not the most beautiful looking, they do look quite industrial. The actual head on there, I mean, if you have a look at it, it's not like a stunning razor to look at in that sense, but it's precision built. You know, when you put that blade in there, it ain't moving anyway. It seats in the top cap perfectly. It's not got hardly any wiggle then, but when you actually slot it into the base plate, there's no wiggle at all. It just goes exactly where it's meant to be. There is no way you're going to put a blade in it wrong and the blade's going to be sitting squint. That just will not happen. Above the tie, R1, brand new Pulse Silver blade. Completely different feedback, audio feedback. You can hear it straight away. It's very, very loud. Now, I know why that is. 2 seconds. I thought the wife shouted on me there, I've just been out and she's not, I don't think so. The reason this razor has got such massive audible feedback, sorry, I've got something in my bloody eye now, can't win. If you look at the actual razor head itself, the blade exposure, the actual amount of blade that sticks out from the top cap, it's quite a fair bit. I mean, there's a good 3 mil there that sticks over the edge, and what it actually causes when you're pulling it over the hair, it sort of rasps a bit like a rasp. So it's got quite good audible feedback, and the good thing is the razor still holds the blade solid, so it's not like you're getting a blade that's not held very tightly. It is held lovely and tight, it's not moving about, there's no flex in the blade, but that's where that large amount of audible feedback is coming from. Now, it's a very, very smooth razor. The soap, I can really feel the protection from it. As I'm pulling that blade over my skin, I can feel it's just sliding along. It's taking that hair down beautifully. I'm really impressed with this soap base, I really am. And I'm not saying it because I'm the first person to use it and all that. You get no bullshit answers on my channel. If this isn't a great soap base, I'll say it. Thankfully, I haven't come across too many artisans that don't have a great soap base. I don't have great soaps. The thing that normally gets me is either I don't like the scent, or I get a reaction to the soap, but that doesn't stop me from recommending a company. The only one where I actually stopped sort of recommending them because I had so many reactions was Razor Rock. But I do have the Stallion now, which I don't react to. It's a great soap, performs well, it's cheap, but it's cheapish. I'm just going to empty this sink out. So I don't have a problem now, but I still tell people to be careful with Razor Rock soaps because for some reason a lot of them reacted with my skin, and a lot of them still will. I've got another one on the way, I can't remember what it's called. Michelano? I can't remember. I think it's a sandalwood scent. I think it's an eyelash. A sandalwood scent from Razor Rock, and it's actually, I'm trading away the, what do you call it? The Rockwell. So it'll be a 2C, so with the plate 1 and 3, I'm still waiting on the gentleman getting back to me about the 2 and 4 and the 5 and 6 plate. So if I don't hear from him, the whole thing might go, I don't know. So I've got another one coming, so I'll try that. It's in the same little white tubs. They were the ones I was mainly reacting to, so I've got a funny feeling I might react to this one as well, so we'll see how we go, and if I react it'll end up probably going away as a piff or a giveaway or something. So right, let's lather up again. I'm just going to wet my head. So let's have a feel of this. Oh, it's really slick, like really slick. I'll just show you right now how slick this stuff is. I don't normally do this after one pass because I don't normally have this amount of slickness, but I can just wet the razor straight against the grain. That's BBS now, pretty much. I am going to lather up and do it right. I don't want to cause any irritation, but there's a lot of slickness in this soap, loads. It's really good. It's really good. I'm not getting a tingle on my head. I'm not getting any sort of feeling of any irritation or anything like that. I do find though sometimes that my head reacts differently to soaps than my face does. This lather's gorgeous, it really is. I can't wait until it gives the green light for the old business to actually chuck the name out there and get his name out a bit. It's really good soap. If he gets the scents right, he's going to do well, I think. And the price. The price is, for most people, probably the most important part, really. It is for me, I know that. It's really important for me, especially this year. Price is going to be key for anything that I buy. Or trade. Trade's not too bad. Shipping kills you enough without having to just add in loads of water, because it just loves water. It does have a very high fat content from what I'm told. It just amazes me that high fat content soaps lather up so well. I always thought fat would be a shit thing for a soap. That was before I actually started weight shaving. I would never, if someone said to me that high fat content soaps were great, I'd have said you're talking shit. But this lather is no joke, one of the best soaps I've used. It's really up there. By the end of this shave, there's a good chance that this might be one of the best. There's a good chance this will be the best soap base I've ever used by the end of this head shave. We'll soon see. You guys know, you've watched my channel long enough, don't normally get lathers like that on my head with a head lather. I mean, this is just insane how easy this is building and how creamy and thick it is. It's phenomenal. Hang on a minute, let me turn this light off. I think that one causes a lot, there we go. I don't know, it causes a lot of problems for lighting my head up when it's so white, so you probably haven't actually seen any of the lathers. I've just seen some in the camera there and it was really bright, so apologies for that. So I can't feel a tingle at the moment in my head, so I don't know whether I'm making a reaction to it or not, but so far so good. So. Lovely light touch with the Wunderbar. You don't need any pressure at all with this razor. If anything, I'm always lifting it ever so slightly off my skin. Just letting the blade just touch my skin and no more. Now, one thing the Wunderbar has over many razors which I've used on my head and enjoyed is there's no overhang on the sides. None at all. So in that regard, it's one of the safest razors you can use for a head shave, in my opinion. If you can master the art of a very light touch, and I mean very light. On the back of my head here, I'm literally just letting it rest and just pulling it gently up. It's a super efficient razor, but in my opinion a very mild razor for the amount of efficiency it offers. Alright, don't ask me what happened there. I really don't know what's going on with this iPhone. I know Spence is standing there pissing himself laughing. It's literally telling me, I'm just going to re-lather this a little bit because I've been off the camera now for about 3 minutes. It's telling me that my phone's full, that I've used all my storage, when quite clearly I haven't. So, shut up, Spence. Okay, above the tie. I don't know what's happened. It seems to have it's wiped like 10 gigabytes of data off my phone just by looking in my storage bit, and it all disappears. So, above the tie, R1. Pulse silver feels very nice in this razor. It's very smooth. Now I do have one of these on the way. Well, not yet, it's not actually on the plane yet or been sent yet, but it is coming next week on Monday. But it's the aluminium version. So I'm sort of looking forward to it because I think for my head shaves, I think it will help with my shoulder, because my shoulder, it does tire, especially, excuse me, with this razor. This is quite a heavy razor, and it's not even heavy in terms of other stainless steel razors. This is actually quite a light stainless steel razor. Soap. It's incredibly slick. Get it on your fingers, you need to work to get it off. It's amazing stuff. Now this section of my head that I'm shaving now, the left side, I don't even know whether I'm on the camera to be honest, is the soap's been on there for a good 5 minutes now, roughly, just I guess. Right now, Wunderbar and R1. I've done 2 passes now. I've done it with the grain and against the grain, each side of my head. What razor do I prefer? And the answer is quite clear, and it's the R1. The Wunderbar is amazing, don't get me wrong. It shaves super comfortably, smooth, and it's still one of my favourite edge shaving razors, but that R1 is exceptionally smooth. I think it is actually a nicer razor to shave my head with. It feels a similar sort of mildness. It's not an aggressive razor on my head, yet it feels aggressive on my face. It feels very similar, in my opinion, to what the Wunderbar does. It still feels way more aggressive on my face than it does when I'm doing a head shave. So I've just wet my head there, and let me tell you, the residual slickness on this soap is great. And I will also say, it feels like I'm getting a light tingle. So it might just need a little bit of a tweak, mate. Just, I don't know, you know your soap base. This is a soap base, so if you get a reaction to a soap base and there's no scent in it, it might be worse with the scent in it, but I'm getting a very, very mild tingle, definitely. It's only just came on since I've wet my head there, and I can feel it now, so let's see if this makes it any stronger. Getting the soap back on again. But whatever you do, don't try and change this soap base too much because it's so good. Now, I'm talking, the light tingle is so light, it doesn't actually put me off shaving. It's not like, shit, I need to get this off, it's burning. It's not that kind of tingle. It just, I feel there's something there that wouldn't normally be there with a soap that doesn't affect my skin at all. So there's something in this soap, whether it be the acidity of it or not, that is reacting with me a little bit. I can feel it. It doesn't feel, it feels maybe just a little bit stronger now I've got the soap back on again. I can definitely feel something. So it's definitely a phenomenal soap base. Just needs a little bit of a tweak, and that's what it's all about when you send stuff to people to test. You can't just go off your own nose for scents and your own nose for, and your own skin for soap, because you might have super tough skin that never reacts to anything, and I hate all you people that are like that, because there's so many products out there that I would love to have in my den again. Okay, Shave Works Great Delicious being probably top of that list. Right, so I'm not going to, I get a BBS shave no matter what I do, so I'm just going to finish this whole shave off now with the razor, which in my opinion is better as the R1. Finish off the whole shave now with this razor. Both of these razors I highly recommend for head shavers, but I also recommend them for face shavers as well. If you like a bit of aggression on your face shave, or you've got a really tough beard, both of these razors will deal with it comfortably. Now, one thing that surprised me with the R1 is it doesn't have a, it's not got a lot of blade gap in terms of actually allowing soap through. As you can see, there's not a lot of gap there between the blade and the base plate, between the tooth. So it never clogs. It clogged the first time I used it on my head shave, but that's because I had like 8 or 9 days growth, and even then it piled through it, it just smashed it. Took a lot more rinsing, but that doesn't bother me. Right, now in terms of what's left over here, there's not a lot. I'm not really feeling too much here, it's not finding much stuff to chop off here. But what I will say is this soap is offering me so much protection and slickness here. I think I'm going to go ahead and say it, other than the reaction I'm getting, and it is a very light tingle, it's nothing that's scaring me or worrying me. It's not like I need to hold this off now, I'm going to, it's burning my skin or anything. It's probably the best soap base I've used. And obviously I've just used Smoke in the Water from Ollie, which is great. Holy Caw, Donkey Milk, Bartholomew Mans, Glissant, Reserve Base, Wickham, Sterling, you name it. This stuff is good. APR, it's really good. I can't emphasise it enough. I know you're sick of me saying it, and there'll be guys out there and I will be saying, oh, it's because you've got it, it's from WA and all that. It's not, I just tell you as it is. I hate using shit on my head if it's not slick and it's not good at it, because it's no enjoyable thing for me using a soap if it's crap, or if it's not up to that standard. I mean, that slickness is just insane. It leaves such a great layer behind, even though the blade's flat on your skin and it shouldn't really leave much. It's still leaving a good layer of protection. And I'm really impressed with it. Now, I don't really know much about this artisan, I don't really know anything about him. The only reason I bumped into him was because he bought a few bits off me, a few soaps. There's actually more left over against the grain on the above the tie side than there was on the Wunderbar side. So that gives you an indication of how efficient the Wunderbar is, because this above the tie is a very efficient razor. It definitely gives me a BBS as good as the head blade. Maybe not better, but as good as. It's definitely the best BBS I can get from a DE with this razor. No question about it. I'm just trying to highlight a little bit the residual slickness on this soap by just using a wet hand. Just dip my fingers in the water and that's all I'm using. I'm just using these little bits of soap that's just floating about. I definitely get an amazing BBS shave with this razor. I'm sure if I had something in my den that could entice Spencer to let it go, I'm sure he would jump at it, because I don't even think this is his favourite above the tie. And I can understand why, because he only shaves his face, and it's not, in my opinion, the best face shaving razor, because it is quite aggressive feeling on your face. You do get a lot of blade feel from it. But it's just ploughed through that, really has. Now the tingle now, there's nothing, there's no tingle, I haven't got nothing now. I'm still, I don't know whether it's in my head now, I don't know. Just put a bit of water on and see if I can feel it again. Like I say, it's not bad. It's not a tingle that puts me off using it, and I know I keep repeating myself over and over again. I'm just sick of it, but it's not that kind of tingle that I'm getting from it. I mean, that's a BBS head shave with ease, with no... Oh, beautiful, it really is. I'm just going to let that dry a little bit. I'm just going to rinse my brush and everything out. I'm going to be using Oleo Soap Works again. I'm just going to use a little bit of the splash on my head and again on my face, and just a little bit of the balm, because the post-shave products from Oleo Soap Works, which she's just branched out into splashes bearing in mind, and EDTs, post-shave feel is brilliant, and I highly recommend Oleo Soap Works for that now, because they've really, Vida is really up to the game on that side of things, and she's got products there now that will compete with the big boys, in my opinion. The big boys in a small artisan world. Right, I think there's still a bit of soap down there somewhere, let me have a look. This is a long video anyway, but I'll just show you something. If you use synthetics a lot and your brush never looks right when it's finished, I don't know whether you can see that, just right there, there's a sort of dark spot. Now that generally means there's a bit of soap still in the brush. And what it is it right at the base of the knot, you've got some clumping down there with still a little bit of soap, which is actually holding the bristles together. No matter how much I brush that on that towel to take the moisture out, those little bits of soap at the bottom will actually hold that like that. It's not going to affect your brush, but I just find if you get every last bit of soap out, you not have to clean it quite as much in the long run. Yeah, that looks a lot better. There is still a little bit there actually, but I don't know. It might just be a bit in the knot, but that looks heaps better now. Smells good as well. Right, I'll put some of this on there. Let me just have a feel. I just want to check what the post-shave moisturisation is like on this. Alright, my skin feels very moisturised, and it's got already, without even using any products, it's got that lovely satin silk effect to it. So moisturisation wise, I don't know whether you can hear. So there's plenty of moisturisation in there, and I'm quite happy with that. I've got very minimal irritation, if any, that's really going to show with this alcohol. So smoke on the water, aftershave splash. I'm just going to put a little bit of that on. Now this actually is a reasonably pleasant scent compared to the soap and the EDT in my opinion. And it's got a beautiful kick of menthol. And the menthol really, it's almost, you can smell the menthol, but it works with the scent. And I think that's what's helping it. That menthol works with that scent, and it makes it smell nicer. I mean, that actually smells really nice. And I said this in the face shave, it does smell really nice, the splash. And that menthol is lovely. I can feel it's cooling down already. It's just a really good product. It really is. Right, I'm just going to rinse this soap out while that's sort of drying out. One thing I found with the Oleo Soapworks Splash when I used it, the actual post-shave feel with it, you don't need a balm. I used the balm anyway because it was there and it worked really well, the balm. The balm's beautiful, but you don't need it, in my opinion. If you're going to buy Oleo Soapworks products, Vida could almost get rid of the balms and just stick with the splashes. So they're really good. I mean, that's dried in now. My skin feels even better now than it did before. There's a lovely layer that I can just feel. It's not a sticky, tacky, horrible layer. But I can feel that it's moisturised my skin even more, which is exceptional stuff. And I'm just going to finish off now with a little bit of Smoke on the Water aftershave balm. Just a little bit, not a lot. So that's the whole works, whole whack there, just on there. Full head. And that has absorbed already. And the scent on the balm, once again, it's really nice. It's still disappointing for me that I just don't get on with the full set. The soap and the EDT I struggle with. And the splash and the balm are actually quite nice, so it's a bit odd. I thought they would all smell very similar, but they don't, in my opinion. They smell quite different. The splash and balm smell different to the soap and the EDT. So, the soap today was from a lovely Western Australian artisan who will hopefully be coming out of the closet very soon. And this is his tallow soap base. And the ingredients list, which I actually listed in the previous video, if you go to my previous use of it 2 days ago, you can see a good part of what's actually in this soap. It is tallow based. I can't remember if it says tallow on there, but it is a tallow based soap. It's quite a firm soap. It's a very slick soap, very protective soap. It loads up very easily, it lathers super easily. It's in my top bases, actual soap base. If he gets the scents right on this, I reckon they're going to be sitting right up there, maybe even on the top line. They might sit at number one. It's really good stuff. I'm really, really impressed with it. The brush today was the Turn and Shave from Milton over in the States. 30mm, 1/4 moon knot. It's just a shame it's orange. Beautiful brush though, it really is a stunning brush to use. The razors, Razor Rock Wunderbar, above the tie R1, both with brand new Pulse Silver blades, both extremely smooth, both very efficient, and both feel quite mild on my head. Sort of just above mild aggression. That's what I get from them. I don't feel like I'm ever going to cut myself or I'm ever at risk with them. I feel like they're just very smooth, comfortable, amazing razors. The above the tie R1 came out on top on this occasion, but that doesn't mean this is a crap razor. This is still a superior head shaving razor to most in the market, in my opinion, the Wunderbar. So, 2 great shaves. Finished off with the above the tie R1, which has given me a beautiful BBS. Brilliant. And I finished off with some Oleo Soapworks soap on the water, Smoke on the Water, splash, and balm. And let me tell you, I've got no burn, I've got no tingle anymore, I've got no irritation on my head that I can feel. All I can feel is the beautiful menthol, and that's been 2 exceptional shaves. It really has. I really enjoyed both of them. If the scent on Smoke on the Water was better, it would have been really, really exceptional. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that very long, in-depth videos. And just before I go, I just want to highlight something here. Wickham Glycerin Base Gentle Soap for your face. That was really badly worded. Glycerin Gentle Face Soap, I think that's it, from Wickham. Club Cola. The scent on this is absolutely phenomenal. Scent strength of this tiny little cube of glycerin soap is up around about a 9. And I'm not joking when I say when you use this stuff in your bathroom smells like Club Cola for hours. When I walk in the morning after going to bed at night, all I can smell is Club Cola in my bathroom. So even if you just want an air freshener for your bathroom, this stuff is the bomb. So just another little highlight there at the end of that one. So you guys stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.